Hi, and welcome to Tim and Joel's Weekly Draw. Joel, on a scale of Sting is your sponsor to Sting as your father, how proud are you of this week's booking in wrestling?
I'm a child. Mm-hmm. The year is 1999, and I really want a Sprite. So I enter a contest in which I get a Sprite, and Sting comes to my house and beats the living tar out of me. That's how I feel about the week in wrestling.
Okay, that's a haunting visual. We're going to run through the cards, and I guess people can draw their own conclusions about what that take just meant. Sound good?
That's right.
Okay.
Absolutely. And if you want to be haunted by us every day, you can go to youtube.com/TimandJoelPod, or you can go to timandjoelpod.com, which will really just redirect you to the YouTube channel where you can subscribe, you can like, you can see all of our content. And here we go. We got a pretty interesting week ahead in wrestling, don't we, Tim? All right. Let's start with Raw on Monday. Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre in a non-title match. Now, stop me if you've heard this one before.
Yeah, I have.
Oh, wonderful.
And you just said we have an interesting week in wrestling, and this is how you choose to start things. Okay.
We do the week as it comes, Monday through Friday. We don't start on Wednesday and then jump back to Monday and then do a Friday and then talk about Tuesdays.
I'm just saying you can mix it up sometimes if you want.
We mix it up on our other show.
Okay.
So instead, before we get to that match, we actually have to answer the question, will Drew McIntyre answer Goldberg's Royal Rumble challenge for a match for the WWE Championship at the show? Tim, what do you think?
Yeah, and he's on, obviously, because that's Drew McIntyre's whole thing. He takes on all comers. Drew, take on all comers McIntyre.
I think I missed that merch drop.
I think it would do quite well. And again, hit me up. I'll take that job.
With Goldberg back in the fold, yes. It's better now than just showing up at WrestleMania and getting into the card like that. I'd rather have him start now. He's got 2 matches a year for the next few years. May as well get it out of the way. The WWE title matches at the Rumble usually aren't that important. They're big. They're WWE title matches, but really all eyes are on the Rumble and the 30 participants therein.
Yeah.
So we go back to Randy versus Drew again, and it's a non-title match, and stop me if you've heard this one before. But who are going to be the people who get involved in this match? Because Drew's in the match, Goldberg could get involved. Because Randy's in the match, we might see the return of a certain charred individual or his crazy, crazy girlfriend.
Alexa, yeah. Yeah, I expect people to run in. Maybe we burn through one of Goldberg's matches, do one of those throwaway ones, him and Drew, pre-Rumble. Just burn one, DQ finish, boom, 2 matches. Get it all out of the way.
I wouldn't mind it being Matt Riddle versus Goldberg, just to get that match out of the way. Riddle said, you could beat the crap out of me. Let's just work with each other, make each other look good. Sure, let's do that. Why not?
Yeah, totally. That works quite well, actually. He can come out, beat the piss out of Matt Riddle, and just be like, "This is gonna be you, Drew," and Drew be like, "Well, I'm not Matt Riddle, but okay, let's go."
You know what you do? You have Matt Riddle win the U.S. Championship from Bobby Lashley. And then you have a U.S. Championship match between Goldberg and Riddle. Whoa. And Goldberg wins the match and takes the U.S. Championship into the Royal Rumble. And then they hotshot it. And then all of a sudden, Goldberg wins both titles.
No!
In a move reminiscent to WCW in the 1990s.
Oh, man. No.
I'm sorry, I just manifested that.
I don't want any of that. Don't even hint at that. Don't bring that into the world. It's bad energy.
I'll try not to.
Okay.
Instead, we'll move on to Wednesday. We'll talk about AEW Dynamite's New Year's Smash Night 2. How about that?
Much better. More things.
All right. Well, first of all, we've got a match where if Chuck Taylor loses in his match versus Miro, he becomes Miro's young boy until the wedding of Penelope Ford and Kip Sabian. So, first of all, who do you expect to win? And
Miro.
Will Chuck Taylor... Let me finish.
No.
Will Chuck Taylor be forced to wear the same styles and the same fits as Miro?
Yeah, I hope so. That's at least kind of amusing. It's going to be weird. Yeah, but Chuck's definitely going to be young boy and Miro.
What if Miro becomes the young boy? What could we see from that?
A much better angle that will be hilarious as hell, because Chuck Taylor is going to make Miro do a bunch of weird stuff. Maybe they become friends over time. They bury the hatchet. Best friends. And then Miro's part of the best friends.
What would Trent think about that when he comes back?
Trent can also join. Everyone can be... Look, most video game systems easily allow for up to 4 players.
Oh my God, that works so well.
Yeah, I know.
I guess we'll have to see. We also have the NWA Women's Championship on the line as Serena Deeb makes her 4th title defense, this time taking on Ty Conchi. Believe it or not, this is not Ty Conchi's first ever women's championship match on any brand. Did you know that?
I did not.
She has had 1 match for a women's championship before. Can you guess what and where?
Ring of Honor. Does Ring of Honor have a women's title?
It does, and Ty's never been there.
Okay.
Ty Conchi has only been in NXT and in AEW. Ty Conchi did challenge for the NXT UK Women's Championship in a dark match against Kaylee Ray.
Oh,
Thank you,
man.
cagematch.com.
Okay, yeah, a dark match.
I'll let you guess whether or not she won that match.
No, I don't even need to guess. That's a certainty.
10 points for Tim.
Yeah.
The Inner Circle will give us their New Year's resolution. Hopefully one of them is for Chris Jericho to start wearing masks and maybe think about getting the COVID vaccine, maybe to stop giving certain views on his podcasts.
Oh, man, there's so many positive... Maybe stop donating to certain people. Maybe leave his money in his pockets.
$38,000 can pay the salary of a nonprofit staff person, Tim.
Yeah, I know.
This is not the place. We're talking about wrestling. We're not doing it here.
Okay.
What will... No, I was going to say, what about Jake Hager? What's he going to do? What's his New Year's resolution? Is it to beat Wardlow?
Yeah, that seems fair. Work his way up to it.
What about Santana and Ortiz? What will their New Year's resolution be?
Reliably be on Dynamite for at least a few weeks.
I'm okay with that. Maybe they want to win the AEW Tag Team Championships.
That'd be great. They can work their way. I think they're a solid tag team, and then they should be focused more on that.
Wonderful. Let's do that. Maybe Sammy Guevara wants the TNT title. Because speaking of which, we have the TNT Championship match. This is actually the main event, but it segues nicely. Darby Allin, the champion, taking on the challenger, Brian Cage. And of course, everyone's favorite sponsor, father, beat-em-up guy, Sting, is going to be somewhere lurking in the shadows, right?
Yeah.
And Taz and Hook and Ricky Starks are going to be somewhere. So I guess the question is, A, who wins the match? And B, who gets involved too?
This match could go in so many different directions. It's really hard to kind of take a swing at it. I assume Darby's going to retain. There will be a lot of interference. I think Sting might keep Team Taz at bay. Like, that's going to be his role. Cody might insert himself in there too for reasons unknown. Other than, I guess.
Oh, I don't know about Cody because Cody's got himself a little bit of an appearance later on in the evening.
Ooh.
He's going to be in the waiting room with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
Why every week is my first instinct to go with why for everything involving Cody?
Because 9 o'clock comes around and Cody needs to be on TV.
Okay, sure. I like
match.
Britt. We'll see what's going on with this.
I think it'll be a standout opportunity for Britt and for Reba, and then Thunder Rosa will most likely, maybe she won't get involved. Maybe via video, because right now she can't get involved for at least another week.
Yeah.
So either way, it'll be a good waiting room. I'll enjoy at least 2/3 of it.
Yeah, fair.
Pac versus Eddie Kingston, and again, what are the odds that we're going to see Butcher, Blade, and Penta and Phoenix show up in this match, Tim?
Pretty high. Like I said, hopefully they carry on with the thing is like Eddie and his gang is like guns for hire, just kind of around to provide muscle, just have them as like a crew. Like, I think that's a good angle, and I think it'd be a good way to keep them in the picture long term. But they have to, operate as a crew, which means that the Butcher and the Blade are gonna probably get involved, rough up Pac some more.
Speaking of guns for hire, any chance that we'll see maybe a couple of Good Brothers show up again?
Yeah, pretty certain. I think they're happy to be, present on AEW, so I'm sure they're there at every opportunity now.
Yeah, that's presumably the case, especially with the Elite being in action this week on AEW Dynamite. Whatever that means, it'll probably just be the Elite taking on some random people, so I've been told. I've been told that if I get too upset about being told someone's in action, it means they're facing talent that isn't well known.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
Jurassic Express takes on FTR. I'm going to let you explain to me why this match is happening, because I actually didn't figure it out at first.
Yeah, so last week on Dynamite, FTR confronted Jurassic Express in the locker room when they were cutting a promo, talking about what their year is going to look like, what Jurassic Express's year is going to look like. They bullied Marco Stunt, as you do, because he's not actually, he doesn't do anything as part of that tag team. They called him a glorified mascot, which is accurate. So now FTR and Jurassic Express are wrestling.
And that's AEW Dynamite.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the other side of things. For NXT, we have the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Cup competitors officially announced, locked in until something else happens. We have the team of Jake Atlas and Isaiah Swerve Scott. We have The Way, who is Austin Theory, and NXT North American Champion Johnny Gargano. Mm-hmm. We have the Grizzled Young Veterans. Of course, that's James Drake and Zach Gibson.
The favorites.
We have Everrise. Yes, the favorites, absolutely. We have Everrise, Chase Parker, Matt Martell. We have the Undisputed Era, this time comprising of Adam Cole and Roderick Strong. Breezango, your favorite, will be there. Legado del Fantasma, Walking Wild and Raul Mendoza. We have Imperium, Marcel Bartel, and Fabian Eichner. We have Drake Maverick and Killian Dane. It's one of my favorites.
Also.
Kurt Stallion and August Gray. Of course, Kurt Stallion, number one contender to the NXT Cruiserweight Championship since
One day.
November.
One day.
Kushida and Leon Ruff, of course, probably going to change their name to the Rough Riders or something.
Oh, man.
Or Time Rough Time, giving you rough times.
Don't give them any ideas.
They're already trying to figure it out themselves. And the Bollywood boys, Samir Singh and Sunil Singh. By the way, Canadian boys, so I have to kind of stand them a little bit.
Yeah. Except their match will probably end up on 205.
Yes, some matches are actually happening on 205. They showed that this past week. I know that August Gray and Kurt Stallion had a match, and I think Everrise as well. I haven't watched 205 Live yet, as of this taping. Anyway, on NXT this week, we do have two matches from the first round that is set in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. We have Grizzled Young Veterans taking on the aforementioned Everrise, so they probably didn't actually have a match on 205, did they?
Probably not, no.
Probably not. Okay, my bad. Well, either way, Grizzled Young Vets and Everrise have had a little bit of a tiff going on lately. I'm looking forward to that match, and I know you're looking forward to the other match, which is the Undisputed Era taking on Breezango.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it in that I like to see Breezango, but I feel like with who they're paired up against, they're not going to win.
You have little faith, Tim.
Well, okay, no. They have been pitching like an upset kind of angle, which I would love to see, because where does Undisputed Era go if they were to, go through that? Like it doesn't work quite so well. So I think it'd be better if the more seasoned like duo goes over like the guy who's been the top guy in the group and now he's doing the tag team thing. Maybe he's not as used to that format. So
we're going to find out this Wednesday on NXT. Those are the only matches that we have announced. And finally, we're going to make it to Friday night on Smackdown after Nakamura began his trip to the Island of Relevancy last week on SmackDown. And of course, that was in the Gauntlet match where he had a renewed talent of a performance. Before Jay and Roman showed up and gave Adam Pearce the championship match at the Royal Rumble, yada, yada, yada. Nakamura is going to take on Jay Uso. So, Tim, first of all, how excited are you for Nakamura, the new renewed Nakamura, and Jay Uso?
I think it'll be really good, actually, because Jay Uso has been, he's main event Jay Uso now. Like, that's not a joke. That's not a gimmick. He's been putting on stellar performances ever since this whole angle started. So I am really looking forward to this. Nakamura did a great job on Friday. It's going to be good, hopefully. I've seen Nakamura do some shows. There's some matches where the hype doesn't quite live up to it. So I don't want to get my expectations too high, but I think it'll be pretty good.
What about Cesaro? What happens to him now?
I mean, he's got a lot of... He's got so much talent. They can do whatever they want with him. Like, he can kind of sit on the back burner for a little bit. They'll think up something. He has a place on that roster. So
maybe it's time to see Cesaro take on Big E for the Intercontinental Championship.
absolutely, I'd be here for that. I think that'd be tremendous.
And I'm sure the Dirty Dogs, the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions, will have something to do this week. Other than that, that's SmackDown. And to be honest, that's the week in wrestling.
That's it. That's the whole week.
Wow, we did it.
Got through it.
Where can the kids find you?
Kids can find me at TimStoneP, TIMBSTONEP on Twitter.
And you can find us at Tim and Joel Pod or on youtube.com/Tim and Joel Pod. We are everywhere and we love your support. You can subscribe to us using this video. The thing should pop up about now. And you can find me at Joel Pearl on all forms of social media. And that includes twitch.tv/Joel Pearl now. Oh my God, I play video games now, Tim.
Whoa.
I know, right?
Whoa.
Until then, wow, I forgot the outro. Friends, family, ladies, gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, enjoy your wrestling and enjoy your week. We'll see you next week.